Greetings comrades, Soviet Gaming here. There is a new Stargazing Priorities roadmap and I will go over it with my own comments and the comments of the authors and important respectable people from Reddit. So yeah, let's go into it. So guys, first of all, full credit for this goes to the guys who created it, Xepi and Duck. I will drop a Reddit link in the description if you wanna go through it yourself and read it and read the comments. But I will try to cover most of the questions you can get with this guide and explain it as thorough as possible. So guys, first of all, when to stargaze. It is recommended to stargaze when you have all your 5 core teams and all the faction towers ready. So if you have all the core heroes that you want, you can start spending diamonds on stargazing. Otherwise, it's recommended to only use the stargazing cards that you get from the events and don't spend diamonds on that because it's not as efficient. You can get lucky, you can get good, but most of the time it's better to go for the normal summons. So this roadmap covers the players who are new to the game and you can track your own progress based on the heroes that you have. So when you just start the game, it's recommended to start stargazing with the twins and get them to Elite Plus. When it is done, you change stargazing priorities to Mortas, yes, Mortas, and get him to Elite Plus. Simply because Mortas is that useful. Then we get one copy of Mehira. She's really good and she's useful even at Elite, not Elite Plus, but just Elite. After that, we get Lucretia to Ascended. That will be a long time, but during that time you can use the heroes that you already have and Lucretia at the stage she is on right now to push your stages in the campaign, tower and basically most of the content, and you can progress quite easily. After making Lucretia Ascended, we would like to move on to making Alna Ascended without getting 1 star to Lucretia, because that engraving bonus that you will get, they are really useful, but then again Lucretia at Ascended will be already really good and will be able to pull through most of the content you can get through. So we'll talk about Lucretia engraving a little bit later when we will get to 1 star point, but right now we move on to Alna, Ascend her, and when it's done we move on to Khazard and get into Mythic. After Khazard is Mythic, we can move on to getting Mehira to Mythic finally. After getting Mehira's signature item, we can move on to building Telin. But that card here means one thing, that if you want to, you can actually stargaze for 1 copy of Telin earlier, because she's your only healer in the Celestial Tower, and she can also help you in the Labyrinth. So if you want to, you can stargaze for her earlier. It's just 1 copy, so it's not that much big of a deal. When we're done with this part, we move on to building Zafrael, and most people might have questioned why you want to put him that high up. Xepi have his own comment about that. Zafrael's utility is based on his ability to interrupt certain abilities like Vurk Poison, Mehira Bats, Air and Pool. Haste of enemies always increases with increasing chapters, making heroes like Nara fail at their basic crowd control versus certain enemies. He is also capable, with Zolrath's help, of stunning heroes like Kelthur, who are otherwise free to roam even with Athelia or Nara on him. So judging from this, you can already see that Celestial hero who will get you faction bonus and that useful against specific heroes who basically counters them is really useful. Is having him Ascended as important as getting 1 copy? Yes, because his furniture matters for his stun potential, and more importantly, that haste is essential for him to function as the fastest crowd control hero in the game. So let's say we build Zafrael to Ascended, and now we move on to finishing off Zolrath. Zolrath isn't just being stargazed, he is being pulled from the Challenger store, and we will move on to Challenger store priorities closer to the end of the video, but basically you would like to pull him from the Challenger store and speed this process up by stargazing him if you want. So yes, it's recommended to get him to Ascended over here, and then we'll move on to finishing twins. We will need them at least at Mythic, but it's better to get them Ascended, but it will be totally up to you. You will need a lot of copies to get them to Ascended, so decide if you want them or not. In any case, you can get a lot of twin copies from the events, they are pretty common over there, so you can finish building them up to Ascended later on as you play through the game, as you progress. After finishing twins at Mythic or Ascended, you can move on to Lucretia finally to get her to 1 star and unlock her engraving. When this is done, you move on to building Mortas to Mythic. That will be an important move because it will unlock his signature item and make him a lot stronger. Can Mortas be done to Mythic earlier? Yes, he can also be made Mythic slightly earlier if your guild wants every member to be well equipped for Abyssal Expedition. Mortas' utility is also very high, but because he serves most of his purpose, With some exceptions where his signature item is must-have at Elite, he is ranked slightly lower compared to other luxury picks like Zephyrail, since Zephyrail requires the haste from his furniture to be as versatile as he is. After that we move on to making Mehira Ascended, and there is a reason for that. Why Mehira Ascended before Khazard? Because Mehira can use Winged Warden and ultimate immediately in the front line if she has the stats to survive. Such strategy is used quite frequently with Zolrath plus Athalia to perma-stun backline Flora enemies. If you guys are not familiar with that, in the later stages of the campaign, the Flora enemies can be quite a pain, and that will allow you to get rid of them before they will go up in the sky and destroy your team. This is one of the team examples that will make crowd control on Flora really efficient. With this team, enemy Flora won't be able to do anything for at least 40 seconds, so you can kinda counter her by using different teams. And getting Mehira to Ascended is one of those options. After that we can move on to Ascending Telene. Finally she will get her furniture. And after that, this is a debatable move, making Mortas Ascended. Some really respectable people on Reddit say that Mortas should be put in the end of the list, and it's up to you to decide. Actually, by this point you will be really experienced and you will know what to do. And yes guys, all this info is not made in stone, so it can be varied by your own preference, and you can kinda move the heroes around. By the way, you can let me know in the comments how would you rate heroes in your own progression. Anyway, let's keep going. After Ascending Mortas, you will move on to Ascending Khazard. And after that, only after that, you will move on to other heroes. First you would like to ascend Leofric or Leofric, I don't know how it's pronounced. Then you will move on to Morel, and after that you might wanna move to Mezath, and then Titus if you have extra Stargazing cards. But my personal advice guys, before you will move on to ascending Mezath or Titus, I would recommend getting some of the heroes to 1 star so you can use engraving on them and at least increase it to plus 30 or maybe plus 60, depends. Because by this time you will have only Lucretia at plus 1, at 1 star. Probably you will get other heroes copies from the events, but if you want some heroes and you use them quite often, you might wanna use engraving on them as well. So alright, this is the Stargazing Priorities, and let's move on to Challenger Store and Labyrinth Priorities, because I already mentioned about them, and that kinda goes in together with this list. So for the Challenger Store, you would like to start with Merlin, then move on to Zolrath, then Athalia, then Aziz. This is a really debatable move. Some people kinda rate Aziz higher than Athalia, other people do it vice versa, but it's personal preference. I kinda like Athalia a lot, I use her a lot as a long-term player. She is like fully made for me, and Aziz is building up right now, but it's a personal preference and it doesn't change it that much in my opinion. After that you move on to Mortas and to Flora, so that's how you spend your Challenger Store coins. As for the Labyrinth Store, you would like to spend those lab coins on Arthur first, then the signature item for Dimensional Heroes, and then you want to build Wukong. And once again, it's not set in stone, so you can kinda adjust it here and there a little bit based on your own preference, your own needs. Basically, it's just a guidelines that you have to follow if you last. For older players like me who have the account totally screwed up by the old good heroes which were the top back in the days, you can adjust your order by your own preference, so you can either finish the projects, I mean Celestial and Hypergen heroes you're building right now, and move on to the roadmap and proper priorities, or you can just do whatever you want. Your experience right now, you can do what do you want and when do you want, right? But other than that, big thumbs up for the creators of this guide, all the credit goes to them. And let me know in the comments if you want any more specific guides. I will try to find them on Reddit or create my own. And let me know what you think about this guide. Let me know if you think that those priorities and the roadmap is good enough. While you go into the comments, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends and guildies, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Make sure to hit that bell button so you won't miss any new videos, and check the video description and the pinned comment for more AFK Arena content like guides and hero breakdowns. And also there is a Discord link that you would like to join, because we discuss stuff over there and you would be welcome there. That's about it for now, guys. Thank you for watching. Soviet out. До свидания.